Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to a very special episode of Chuckload of Comics. Today we are going to do a helmet modification. The modification we're going to be doing is this Hasbro Black Series Dameron X-Wing helmet. It came out last summer. It was the helmet that came out just before The Last Jedi. They release one of these every single year with all the Star Wars movies. This one came out for Last Jedi, and it is a gorgeous, gorgeous helmet. I'm sure you've seen reviews of it online. Not a lot of detail to do on this thing. It's very, very well detailed as is, but here's what we're going to be doing. We wanted to make a little bit more screen accurate. When people decided to make this helmet, for some reason, they did the inside all in this like tan color. Well, we're going to take the guts out of this thing and we're going to dye it black. We're going to spray paint all the guts of this thing black. We're going to take this part out, which is the head fabric piece. That just kind of sits in and makes it all fit properly. We're going to dye this with some fabric dye. We're going to maybe do a little bit of paint on this little guy. Maybe make it look a little more metallic, a little less plastic. But ultimately, the big thing we're trying to do is to paint the inside black. So we're going to take all the guts out of this thing, take all the screws out, pull it apart, spray paint it black. We're going to put it back together and make it look all badass. When we're finally done, we're going to do kind of a black wash to make it look really dirty and gross and grimy. So without further ado, let me break down some of the materials we're going to be using. For the spray paint, we got this Krylon Cover Max. It's made for spray painting plastic. You really want to get spray paint that's plastic usable, so it'll actually adhere well to the plastic, otherwise it'll kind of flake off. For the fabric part on the inside, we're going to be dyeing it black with this RIT black dye. You can get this at the grocery store, you can get it at Marshall's, Michael's, whatever. You can get them just about anywhere, any fabric store, any grocery store. RIT dye, jet black. This is the black wash. It's an acrylic black wash that we're going to use just to kind of make the whole thing look kind of gross. Acrylic black wash you can buy on, you can make your own out of black acrylic paint, or you can buy some on, like, say, Amazon. Just search for acrylic black wash. Last but not least, you're going to want to use this little tiny screwdriver. The screws inside this thing are teeny weeny. So get yourself a little jewelry screwdriver to get all these tiny little screws out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start taking this thing apart, shall we? All right. Alright guys, so we took out all of the guts pieces. This is what came out. These just pieces of plastic. They came out very, very easily, like 6 screws on either side and you're good to go. This is the rubber pieces. These just sit right on the front. I took them off because I'm going to paint them kind of separately. But it came apart so easily. I think you're going to be really happy with how easy this thing comes apart. So we're just going to spray it with some of this plastic black spray paint and go to town. Alright, so time for the dyeing portion. We've got our little earpieces, our little fabric earpieces. We pre-mixed our RIT dye. You mix this stuff, it's black as midnight. You just mix this stuff in with some hot water. You pour it in your bucket, it already has some hot water. So we're going to just do a quick mix. Pour that in. And then we're going to dump these bad boys in. You just need enough water for them to kind of move freely within the water. So just dump it right in. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm hoping it might. So we're going to let those sit in the dye for maybe even overnight and see if we can get them just as black as we can. Alright, cool. Okay, so while my fabric is drying and my black paint is drying, see how easy all this came out? It looks great in here. It's all black and really easy to remove. We can go ahead and paint this guy with a little bit of this stuff. It's a little bit of metallic acrylic paint, a metallic silver. We're going to paint this guy, and then we're going to do a black wash on the little area. This thing's really easy to take off. All it does, pops right out. Piece of cake. Just pop this guy out. We're going to paint it right here. Should be kind of easy. A little bit of acrylic paint down here. Just to get a little bit of a metallic look. And then we're going to do the black wash on it when we black wash the entire helmet. So let's go ahead and give this a shot, see if we like it. Alright, something I wanted to show you. I didn't even think I was going to do this, but I kind of changed my mind halfway through. Is with this silver acrylic paint that we used for the little communicator piece, I started doing some details. If you just get a really dry brush, I don't know how well you can see that, but just all this black that's on here, you can really go in here and just kind of do some cool little touch-ups to make it look kind of banged up. All you do is just get a super duper dry brush and just kind of go along the edges. It's really pretty easy. Just kind of go along the edges, just tapping it anywhere you see a kind of a corner, and just give it a little bit of damage, because that's what happens with metal, you know, on the little corners. They touch things and they get scuffed. The trick is not to overdo this, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. But just like around these bolts and stuff, it just looks really, really cool. Looks kind of like just worn weather, like all the way around here, and especially on the front, it just looks kind of neat. So I'm gonna try not to overdo it. I'm gonna kind of stop right now. All right, guys, so we're nearing the home stretch. Our inside black plastic pieces painted flawlessly. They look absolutely fantastic. We're going to reinstall these in just a minute. So these are the two side pieces that we painted with the little rubber tips. I also went ahead and I took out this speaker screen and painted this with some black acrylic paint. I didn't really spray it down because I didn't want to ruin the speaker, but just kind of brushed on some black acrylic paint to hide it on the inside. Before we do all the install, the last thing I want to do and talk about is the black acrylic wash. What we want to do is we don't want this plastic stuff to look too nice. We went ahead and we made all this cool detail with the silver brush, but now we're going to make these like bright reds look a little more gross, a little more beat up, a little more covered with like some engine grease, some X-Wing grease. So we're going to use our wash right here. It's totally liquid. This stuff is just, it's not thick at all. It goes on like water. So just pour a little in a cup. Just a few drops will do. A little goes a long way. And you just kind of brush it on, you know, brush it on with a brush. Just going to brush this one on right here. It goes on so fast and so liquid. Don't freak out. And a little goes a long way, like I said. Just going to brush it on. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just brush it on like you're brushing on water. I'm not going to do the entire helmet. I'm really just going to kind of go over the colored pieces to make them look kind of gritty. The black, you're not really going to see it in the black. So kind of just brush it on, brush this little water-like substance on. We're going to let it sit for just a little bit, since this stuff can be used to fill in little tiny gaps, like if you're doing an action figure or something. But since this is just all a flat piece, we really want it to dry just a little bit. It only takes a few seconds to dry. You can also use a shoe polish. I know some people have used shoe polish for this method. We are using the acrylic wash. So just painting it on. It's just, like I said, it goes on like water. Let it dry for just a minute. So if you were doing like a model or something, you would just wipe away the top layer, and then that would leave the stuff that dripped down in the cracks. The paint would stay in there. Since this is all flat, instead of wiping it all away, we're going to blot it. We're just going to go in there and just blot at it. We're going to leave big chunks of it on there, so it'll look like just big chunks of grease. So anywhere you see some red, we're just going to blot some of this stuff on. Sorry, it's really meticulous. Probably the longest part of the entire video. So we got it on there. Now we're just going to grab a regular rag. I should probably be wearing gloves, but I'm not. We're just going to kind of dab it a little bit, just to get all that excess stuff out. I hope you can see that. Just a little bit of dabbing. Dab and wipe, dab and wipe. Get some of the excess off. You really can't screw this up, because if you wipe too much off, you can just put more on. We just want it to look a little bit kind of oily. We might actually go back and do a second coat, which is no problem at all. Piece of cake to do. Just kind of dabbing it on, giving it a greasy look. Dabbing off some of the excess. And that's the beauty. You can go back and you can just wipe it all down if you don't like the way it looks. Takes a while to dry. So I think we might do a couple coats of this. It's already starting to look nice and Nice and dark. Just gives it a little extra look, and it looks shiny, but it's actually going to dry really, really flat, matte. So anyway, I'm going to do a couple more coats of this, and then we're going to install the inside piece, and we'll be done. Alright guys, that is a wrap. We are done. This thing looks so amazing. It looks like it's been in some serious space battles. The black on the inside looks outstanding. It just looks so much better than that tan brown that was in there. It just looks way more film accurate. The distressing on it was great. Before I get into the distressing stuff, you'll notice I don't have the headpiece. I never showed you the RIT dye foam headpiece because the RIT dye did not work. I hope you're still watching this and you're paying attention. The RIT dye doesn't work because the inside, the foam stuff was polyester, so the polyester didn't soak it up. But not to give up, what you can do, I haven't done it yet, is go down to your local craft store and get some fabric paint. It's this pump spray paint. It's specifically for fabrics. I've used it before on all kinds of fabrics, and it works perfectly. So get you some pump spray. Don't try the RIT dye. It did not work. So yeah, the metal details we did here, just the flakings of using the silver acrylic paint on all the little edges just makes it look so beat up and worn. I was so happy with the way that turned out. I did it on this little bolt over here. I did it pretty much everywhere. Anywhere there was an exposed corner, like right there, we put a little bit of acrylic on there, and that just made it look so gnarly and real. And of course the black wash. The black wash all over turned out incredible. It looks like there's grease all over everything, and I love it. Nothing looks clean. It doesn't look like you just bought this from a Toys R Us. It looks like a real prop, and I couldn't be more stoked. So guys, thanks a lot for watching. This thing turned out really cool. This thing looks way more metallic than it did before. It looked very plastic before. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Join us here every Sunday for comic book reviews, nerd news, movie talk, all the stuff that we do. Chuckload of Comics is every Sunday on YouTube. Join the Chuckload of Comics family. Click that subscribe button for more shows kind of like this and other types of shows every single Sunday. Thanks a lot for watching. I love the way this thing turned out. We'll see you here next time.